They said gray paved the way, changed the rain, released the pain, least you sane, getting paid, trend setting, brighter days, doper raps, tighter sets, high and deadly, I'm a fighter jet, German Kane.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Y'all seen once again, we get AB back in the building. Y'all know what it is, the box there. That gives us all the information that you want, everybody's social media, all of our links to everything. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. This one, I think Beans, you were a little excited for this one, actually. The Taya versus Zoey Sky. And now I think didn't Zoey Sky have a match with her before, early when Taya was getting the belt?
You know, I don't remember. Unfortunately, at my age, I may not look old, but I feel old. I think, I think that she may have, but I can't recall. You know who would know is our boy Muffins, but unfortunately, he's MIA this week.
Yeah, he'll be out for a month change, give or take. But so before we even talk Taya, right?
Hey, what is up, everybody? I know we're gonna cut this in the middle of our regular recording, but what ended up happening when I was reviewing some of the tape and some of the video was we started having a little bit of technical difficulties on Chef's side, El Chefe, half chef, half jefe. Anyways, we had some problems with his audio and with his video. It looked like his internet was cutting out. I'm not sure. He lives somewhere in Central Florida, and every once in a while, alligators bite the internet cables. So I'm going to go ahead and re-record this, and we're going to talk about Taya and Zoey Sky's match that they had very recently, and it looks like it was recorded January 7th. There's a great shot, put up on MLW.com of Taya with Caesar and Zoey Sky looking great. Anyways, the match starts and the announcements happen. Zoey comes in. She's got a great pop. Zoey's got 15 years of experience, so she matches Taya in experience. She has gone through. We'll talk about that a little bit. She has gone through a couple of name changes, a couple of image changes. I can't recall those names now, but here in MLW, she is Zoey Sky. Either way, great pop coming out, really good looking fit, very professional. And the reason I say professional and why you'll hear me mentioning professional quite a bit is because sometimes we get MLW, stop bys that come in, and what ends up happening is they don't look professional. They looks like somebody had to call them in the last minute and get them to come in and do a job. But Zoey looks prepared, looks fit, looks great, very professional, great look on her face. Again, very fit. They mention her size, which, she does a really good job, especially in this match, of countering Taya's size, which I've mentioned before. Taya is a woman. She's a woman. And I really wish that they would bring more women her size to come and face her. But again, Zoey did a great job of countering the size difference. She gets off a good flurry to begin with. She uses her size, her smaller size and speed to get around Taya, sort of confuses Taya a little bit. They go to the outside, but let's not move past Taya. Let's not move past the $1 million baby that they have there. Taya looks awesome. So Zoey looks good, but Taya, man, that woman, she just looks awesome. And I know people are going to say, oh, she just looks like, you're just saying that because she's a blonde woman and, she's dressed provocatively, but actually she's really not. She's not dressed provocatively. She's just almost like any other women wrestler. And she's actually wearing, most of the time she'll wear a one piece. Right. Anyways, really, really great looking coming out. She's got that entrance. She's got the look, that great robe that she has coming out that just spans that runway. It is awesome just to see that. entrance, and I would love to see it live. Unfortunately, MLW hasn't come to Dallas. I'm in Texas, so Texas is like 12 states in one. You guys, sometimes I'm not sure where you're listening to, but people were like, "Oh yeah, I drove like 3 states over, and it took me 4 hours." Well, 4 hours gets me to like Houston from where I'm at, which I'm right in the middle of the state. Houston's close to the edge. I still got like another 2 hours to get to the edge of the state. Anyways, digress. Talk about Taya. Taya's looking great. I'm hoping that they come back so I can view that in person. We went off a few times and talked about Taya's our thoughts on Taya. We said, Taya wasn't doing a good enough job to get the belt out there, the MLW name out there, but really I think she's doing a good job now of being a fighting champion, where I would prefer her to be a fighting champion versus a champion that holds a belt and only goes to one show every 3 or 4 months, which would translate chronologically in the videos to one time every 6 months or something. And I mean, we had a hard enough time talking about Hammerstone not having enough fights in the past 6 months, but all you see with Taya coming out on Reels is just Taya, Taya, Taya. And I really hope, my hope is that they get Taya more airtime, and that someone at Reels understands she is a draw. So let's inject some more money into MLW to keep her either part-time or steal her from Impact. If they steal her from Impact, and we'll start going into these things a little bit later. Really, what we wanted to talk about here was more Taya and Zoey, but I'll touch on it really quickly, right? What we would really like to see is Reels injecting some money into MLW, and what that would end up doing is showing that MLW is a real tier 2 wrestling company. Right now you're looking at, they're borderline bottom of the barrel, tier 2, more like tier 3, right? You got the E up at the top, you got AEW somewhere teetering between 1 and 2. I know the diehards will say, "Oh no, they are number 1." They're not. They had the least amount of viewers this week that they've had in the past 2 years. Again, back to Ty and Zoey. It was a good match. We really liked the match there. I'm liking the production value of Reels. Taya at the end comes off with a great push kick that ends it all. Zoey does get off a flurry in the beginning. She used her size, but in the end, it's Taya just putting her away. And the way that she sort of put her away was funny, because you see a little bit of the whispers, whispering into the ears, saying, "Hey, this is the move that we're going to do next." But hey, it happens. They're calling the match as it happens. Taya's a ring general. She's got experience. We were talking the other day really quickly, right? And we were talking about Jeff Jarrett's father that he just passed away, right? And we're sitting there saying, who's going to be the wrestling company that brings this up and gives a tribute, right? And all of a sudden he's like, "Oh yeah, YouTube, there's some random wrestling company on YouTube that would do it because they have the same name." I even forgot the name of the company, right? But 1980s
Memphis something, I think.
Yeah, Memphis Wrestling, right? And I was like, do you watch that? Because I don't have enough time to watch that. I mean, I'm still trying to catch up on AEW episodes from 2 weeks ago, and I mean, I had to catch up last night on this match that we're talking about from last week. which is, we're recording on Wednesday, and I had to try to watch last week's show and this week's show. So that's crazy.
He watches everything. And I know I had talked about this prior, right? Like this is tough for me because I like Zoe Sky, I like Billy Starks. There's a lot of girls that they have brought in that I really like. With Taya, I keep trying to say there's no hate towards Taya. It's not about hate Taya. It's more MLW is just throwing random matches at her, right? Like, so she's doing as much as she can do. Because what storyline has she been in?
She hasn't, right? It's just been the story of Taya being the fighting champion, and I know we've given her so much crap. I mean, if you go to our channel and you're new to our YouTube channel, the first video that pops up as a teaser for our channel is us talking, actually Muffins talking mess about how Taya really doesn't do anything with that belt. She doesn't show it. She doesn't do Instagram posts with it. She doesn't she just hadn't been the type of champion that we expected for the featherweight division. And then they come up on Reels, the new season starts, and it's like every other week there's Taya, 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 looking like $1 million, coming out with those dang outfits that are just fire. They're freaking fire, man. Her entrance is fire.
Yes.
Her ring attire is fire. Her wardrobe, the robes or whatever are fire. She has that dang ring presence where you're just like, you just are drawn to her. And I know people are gonna say, "Oh yeah, because it's a blonde woman that looks good." No, no, no. She's got something about her that you just have to look at. She
She has
draws your
that
attention.
it's that it thing. She has that thing.
Yeah, she has the it thing. She really does. And there's a reason why she's number one in so many promotions. There's a reason why people want to put the belt on her. There's a reason why MLW put the belt on her, right? Um so let's get into this match. The match itself was decent. Of course, this was Taya calling the match the whole way.
Oh
You
yeah.
could see her doing the whispers every once in a while, which hopefully with production getting better with reels, they'll understand that you can't you can't have Taya whispering in this girl's ear or show that, and they'll cut to another angle. Um, but I have to say, it was a good match. Of course, Taya goes over. She retains the title. She's calling the match the whole way. She's pretty much dominating. Is Zoey got a little bit of a flurry somewhere in the middle, but I gotta say this is another small girl that they lined up for Taya to just run over.
Yep.
Size in height, size in weight. I don't know what Taya is at. I want to say that she's probably like 175, and that is not a bad thing. I wish that there were more women about her size wrestling. I don't like seeing the 125, 110, 5'1", 5'2" girls out there. Um, it, it they look small in the ring, and Taya looks huge in that ring, and that's not a bad
Yeah.
thing. I mean, she looks like she belongs in that and I've said it multiple times. She looks like she belongs in that WWE ring because the these smaller rings almost look like she's not running
Yeah.
at full speed, because if she does, she's going to get to where she needs to be, or where she should be, faster than the other girl is going to be. If that makes any sense. She's just going to get there too fast. The other girl just isn't going to be there. So
See, now this I like how you bring that down because we need to talk about this real quick because I know it seems like it's just hate and it's not, right? Like it's not hate. Give her something to go with. Like give her a role, give her a story, give us something to feed off of because like I said right now, it's just okay, yeah. Who's the next random match that has no build up, no nothing. And outside of Taya, who would you even say, hey, who else is in the women's division? I don't know. Like,
I don't know.
but
I mean, they tried to bring what is her name? At the end of the match, for some reason, they brought the other female that they're pushing, very young. She's like an 18-year-old female. She's
Billy
been
Starks?
wrestling Billy Starks, yes. Billy Starks. So they brought her out on the ramp and they tried to do an interview after the Zoe Sky and Taya match. And it was a little bit funny as how they were trying to have that interview right in the middle of the match or right after the match as Taya's walking up the ramp. I understand what they were trying to do there, but anyways, they're trying to build a little bit of something between them. I like her size. I like Billy Stark's size. She's young, so maybe Taya can help her. I'd love to
Yes.
see a program between them, and I'm hoping that what is going to happen with REELZ is going to inject some money in there, and they're going to be able to keep Taya from going back to Impact, or at least be able to have Taya on long term,
Yeah.
and then be able to have Billy on long term. Although I know she's wrestling already on Dark on AEW, so the equivalent of MLW, the equivalent of MLW top 5 wrestler is AEW Dark for some reason. I mean, look at EJ, right? I mean, being pushed to the max on MLW, and he's like, "Well, I'm gonna go to AEW and wrestle on Dark."
Yeah. Good job.
Yeah, good job, guy. We love you. So, did we cover everything here?
But no, but you're 100% right on it because, like I said, and I love Taya. Taya is an amazing wrestler. If you could have her, kind of how I was trying to say with Pentagon Jr., I want him for the company, he's a free agent, blah, blah, blah. If you could have him groom the next person, dope. If you could have Taya sit back and groom, just say Billy Starks is there. Say they're like, yo, we're going to sign her. You're like, yo, this is the person. Now you have her feud. You have Taya keep, doing what she does. Taya's an amazing wrestler. She can do what she got to do. You have her with Cesar Duran. You use some kind of storyline around Taya. She's the face of the women's division. Treat her like that. Give her her due. You know what I'm saying? That's the beef with it. It's not saying, oh, Taya's whack. Nah, Taya's mad talented. But outside of just walking down with a belt and having a random match versus some random person, why I'm not drawn into it because it's just a random match.
Yeah, I got it. I do. I see it. A random match with some indie star that they bring in really quickly, and then all of a sudden, the indie star's gone, and so is so is that top talent that they had coming into the
Yeah.
into MLW as champ and putting a belt on them. Yeah, I understand that. What's next for her? I don't know. I don't know. But you want to talk about what REELZ is going to do or what's going to happen next? I hope. I really hope, like I said earlier, I really hope that REELZ injects some money into MLW very quickly
Yeah.
because you've got Davey Richards that the the junk sheets are starting to say that Davey Richards is going to be a free agent and he's going to go somewhere else, which I'm going to guess. I don't know that I'd see him at AEW. I think he's too smart to go there. I could see him going to Impact, but if the deal with REELZ is as real as we believe it is, or we've been led to believe it is, then why not stay? Why not stay? In court we trust, right? And when you look at everybody else that Davey was working with, they either stayed or they did really well, except for Myron Reed. Myron Reed was, I'm gonna guess that he was gonna be a project for Davey to start working with and start doing something with. And then that fell apart. And then you also haven't seen Davey in a while. And
Yeah.
in the past couple of weeks with REELZ, the three, I believe it's three episodes that came out, you haven't seen them. So I'm really hoping that there's something besides, um, and we don't do spoilers here, but I did read something online about a match he had recently. So we'll see.
Ooh,
We'll see what happens. But
hit me in the chat with that because I don't know that one.
I will. I'll hit you on our Facebook channel on that. But if they could keep with the REELZ deal, if they could keep Taya, Davey Richards, if they could have kept EJ, that would have been great. If they could bring on Pentagon, those 4 right there would be good. But I don't know.
I got to ask because not because I'm biased, right? And this is why I'm glad Muffin's not here because he always goes, "Oh, he's biased." But and I say this all the time. Alex Kane was the guy that they didn't know his greatness when they drafted him, right? Like Alex Kane is a grand slam. They hit it out the park with him. I think that if you do the smart, say you keep all the guys you named, would you be, and depending on if Holiday comes back, would you be okay with Alex Kane being the second biggest guy in the company? Like behind either Hammerstone or Fatu or whoever is holding that belt. Would you be okay with Alex Kane fighting for that belt, the top prize, over like a Davey Richards or somebody else? To me, I think he's earned it, and I don't think anyone is. He talks like $1 million. He can wrestle. He knows how to work a crowd. Alex Kane has provided everything and more.
I really think that Alex Kane, you're right. He really has. He really has done something good in MLW. He has provided what they were looking for from him.
Wait, AB, can I cut you off? I got a mystery man who wants to throw his 2 pennies in.
I just want to say that Alex Kane should be the next MLW World Champion. Expect him to win the Opera Cup this year, and
he's holding the Opera Cup.
And expect him to keep it for this year. And if he's not MLW World Champion, I mean, they dropped the ball twice. Just want that to be known.
I mean, can we really say though? Can we really say that he holds the Opera Cup, or did he just steal the Opera Cup?
No, he holds it. There's a difference. Thieves steal. He's holding it. It's in his possession.
All right. I guess what is it? Possession is 9/10 of the law. And since I was talking about law earlier,
my bad. I had to cut you off because he wanted to.
No, it was great. You should bring that guy on every once in a while.
Man, we try.
Better than me.
His schedule is crazier than trying to get every one of us to get on.
So one thing I got to touch on really quickly before I hit my reasoning why I think Alex Kane is going to do well in MLW. You said if Richard Holiday comes back, let's change that to when he comes back.
Absolutely.
Yeah. My wife sort of laughs at me when I get emotional on some of these wrestlers. I was a little emotional when Jay passed. I was a little emotional when gosh, sorry, I'm getting emotional right now. When was it Brody Lee passed.
Yeah.
Mainly for the families type thing. Jay was a great guy. Brody Lee was a great guy. AEW did some good things to bring his family in the forefront. Richard Holiday is somebody that we've followed for the past 5 years, and he's grown up in the company, and we put him on the Mount Rushmore. We'll put a link up on the top. I'll have to remind myself to that show, but we did put him on the Mount Rushmore because we said how great he was for MLW as a company, and all of the people that were around him, he's built up. And it was Alicia too. It was Hammerstone that he brought up along the way. MJF, MJF was MJF. Or is MJF now, but I don't know that he would have been that without Richard Holiday for a while. He has in his orbit, that guy is great. and I would love for MLW to be able to hold on to him.
Oh, they got him.
Because any company that grabs that guy, whoever's in his orbit, whether he's wrestling or not, is going to make other people great. And that is what you want from anybody. You bring in somebody on a job, you know, your manager, you bring in somebody. You don't want somebody that's just going to be the good guy, the great, you know, rock star. You want somebody that is a Super Bowl commercial. You want the guy that's going to make everyone else around him great. So when we think that that's Richard Holiday. So anyways, getting past that, Alex Kane, I think he's done really good in MLW. I think, like the mystery guest said, they did him a disservice a while back, and they dropped the ball with him. They, you know, they could have had the national open weight belt on him for a longer period of time. I think they tried to compensate with handing him the Opera Cup, which probably was going to lead to him reclaiming the national open weight belt from Davey
Davey?
Richards.
Yeah.
But I'm going to guess, just with contract disputes that are happening and behind the scenes things that are happening, that is sort of being stalled, which is why we're seeing Bomaye. By the way, the second version of the Bomaye Fight Club with the guys that came out in Philadelphia were a lot better than the first guys they marched out there. That they just looked like they sent somebody to the front and were like, "Hey, those three guys in the back, bring them over. We're gonna put some shorts on them, and we're gonna tell them that they need to say Bomaye, Bomaye." Anyways, these guys that they brought in, they look like they belong with Alex and Ty Pants Thomas. So I really
Okay.
hope that they do something great with Alex. I'd like to see the national open weight championship around his waist. As the heavyweight champion, maybe in a year, but I don't know
I'll
that
take that.
he's there yet. I think he could get there quickly, and I'm glad that EJ is out of the picture, because then it allows them to focus on him, Alex, versus focusing on EJ and trying to keep him happy, which is what they tried to do. And then he went to AEW anyways, or is going to. I don't think that's a spoiler.
No, I mean it's on Twitter. Everybody sees that, you know, he's done his dark stuff and everything else. And the thing is though, Alex Kane outtalks him any day of the week. Like the guy he's the man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm all about Alex Kane. We really want Ty to be showcased the way she's supposed to be showcased. Let her be special. That's what you bring her in for. You know, don't just have her randomly sit there. Let her be special the way it is. For myself, AB, we're going to hit you with one more topic before we get up out of here. But this show, we out of here. Deuces.
Yo, they said Gray paved the way, chased the rain, released the pain, least you saying getting paid, trend setting, brighter days, doper rap, tighter sets, high and deadly, I'm a fighter jet, German.